How's it going, Spare Parts Army? I'm your average infantryman, Chris Cappy. Today we're talking about the MCX weapon, chambered in the revolutionary new Subsonic 300 Blackout caliber. This weapon and its ammo type are designed specifically for US Army Special Forces operators. That's right, regular old infantry like me legally can't even look at it. The rifle, I mean the pistol, wait, what is this thing exactly? Seriously, the 300 Blackout is a pistol caliber that identifies as a rifle. So it's basically a 7.62 caliber bullet that's been placed in a cut down 5.56 cartridge, which when I say it out loud, it sounds like a really unholy union, but in practice, it's a beautiful thing. When I fired the gun, it sounded about as loud as a hot, sweet nothing whispered into your ear. It's one of the US military's newest calibers that they've created, only recently becoming a thing in 2015. Now I'm most excited about this ammo type because it seems we're only just starting to scratch the surface of this 300 Blackout's potential abilities, and I'll tell you what I mean in a minute. So what you have to understand about this setup, the weapon and the ammo, is that it's extremely niche and mainly used for close quarters, high value target elimination missions. It's often been said to be analogous to a surgical tool for Delta Force operators. The MCX and the 300 Blackout ammo are kind of a package deal designed for one another. They're seen together everywhere. These two are inseparable, like PB&J. Troops continue to debate just how niche the 300 Blackout role actually is, with some believing it's only good for one job, very short range engagements with a short 9-inch suppressed barrel. You had one job, 300 Blackout, while other soldiers praise it as a kind of magic bullet that defies all logic, performing well even at medium to long ranges in some examples. By the end of this video, you'll be able to decide for yourself which perspective is correct. Now you know me, I'm a God-fearing man of science. But when fired, the MCX 300 Blackout made me literally wonder out loud what kind of black magic and witchcraft, what kind of sorcery was afoot here. I was hitting targets 200 meters away in the standing position with what felt like zero recoil and zero sound signature. Honestly, the first time I pulled the trigger on the MCX 300 Blackout, you can see I was caught off guard because I thought the gun had misfired and that the bullet was a dud, or I'd forgotten to load the magazine or something, because I shit you not, I heard and felt almost nothing. Voodoo, I say. It almost makes me want to pretend we're all the way back in 2010 and say that this experience was pretty dang epic. So the ballistics of this thing seem to defy all logic by reaching 650 meters per second with 1,500 joules of energy. So 300 Blackout reaches similar energy levels to your Soviet 7.62, but an AR-styled weapon using standard AR magazines at full capacity, which, if you don't know this or not, that's kind of a magic trick all in and of itself, because it's been traditionally very difficult. No one could figure out how to get the rounds of that shape to work in an AR-style magazine in the past. Basically, what this means is that the MCX is firing a very spicy meatball at the enemy. Trust me, as a Long Island Italian, I know my spicy meatballs. Typically, 300 Blackout ammunition is described as having more recoil than the US Army's standard 5.56 caliber, because 300 Blackout has more powder loaded into the cartridge and the bullet weighs more. I think a lot of this reduced felt recoil that I was experiencing had a lot to do with the fact that I was firing it from a suppressor, a Special Forces specifically designed suppressor. That's what this weapon was made for, a specific contract by the company. So this suppressor mitigates recoil by trapping gas in its internal baffles. Let's take a look at this X-ray image of suppressors. Those suppressors look like an Adam and Eve sponsorship. Not the case here. So the round was also a subsonic load, so it traveled under the speed of sound, or another way of saying that is that it travels less than 1,215 feet per second. And this quiet factor is a key distinguishing reason as to why Special Forces operators even wanted to use this unique setup in the first place. So you see, in the early 1990s, SOCOM noticed that their 9mm pistol caliber, the MP5 submachine gun, was ineffective against modern body armor. So they created a laundry list of capabilities for their new dream close quarters combat weapon and the ideal caliber to go with it. It needed to be as quiet as the 9mm, but with high energy, better penetration power, and it needed to be compatible with the M4 family of weapons. These were the requests from SOCOM. So basically a mix between a pistol caliber and a rifle's capabilities. The haters will say it could never be done, but look away, skeptics, lest ye be blinded by the 300 Blackout. It's just so happened that in the early 1990s, a firearms and ammo engineer by the name of J.D. Jones of SSK Industries was tinkering around on a new caliber that fit the bill. J.D. Jones, he's this expert who many look at as the father of modern subsonic ballistics. In 1992, he patented the well-known 300 Whisper, which would be a quiet subsonic high-energy round. The problem was that the 300 Whisper didn't have a certified national standard size and dimension, so the US military is unlikely to use it without that stamp of approval. Without a standard ammo size, the rounds have a greater chance of misfiring or not feeding through the magazine correctly. So the 300 Whisper that J.D. Jones created was a wildcat round, just roaming around the wild without any regulations on it from SAMI, which is the US organization that verifies ammo safety and standards. It stands for Sporting Arms and Ammunition Manufacturers Institute. It was created from a strong recommendation of the US government in 1926. Since then, it's become the go-to standard bearer for ammo dimensions and safety around the world. They literally wrote the book on official ammo standards and safety. So I won't go too deep into the woods here with all this ammo talk, but we're on the cutting edge of ammo potential here. What basically happened here is that Wildcat cartridges, meow, are what many patented non-standard ammo types are. So in order for the US military to use this ammo, it needed a SAMI-approved version. The Army wanted something exactly like the 300 Whisper. In 2009, Advanced Armament Corporation, AAC, they started designing their own cartridge based on the 300 Whisper called the 300 Blackout. This ammo would use a standard dimension that was approved by SAMI. For some reason, I picture SAMI to be like the DMV, but for ammo. They're kind of boring, but without them, we'd be completely screwed, right? Robert Silvers is the Director of Research and Development for AAC, the company that developed the 300 Blackout caliber that the military uses, and he explained the situation best when he said, quote, "A military customer wanted a way to be able to shoot 30 cal bullets from an M4 platform while using normal bolts and magazines, and without losing the full 30 round capacity of standard magazines. We couldn't have just used the 300 Whisper because Remington is a SAMI company and will only load ammunition that is SAMI standard cartridge. We had to take the 300 Wildcat concept, determine the final specs for it, and submit it to SAMI. We did that and we called it 300 AAC Blackout. Once the new ammo type was created and approved by SAMI in 2011, it became very popular for the high-speed, cool guys with beards and international missions, the Special Forces operators. The Netherlands Special Forces also acquired it, so did Portugal, Poland, and Ukraine Special Operations, SBU Alpha Group. They also use the 300 Blackout in the MCX weapon. It's most popular as the personal defense weapon used in security details for VIPs. So you can see this tool was created to solve special operators problems, or as an average infantryman, I like to call them first tier world problems. General Austin Miller's bodyguards were seen carrying the MCX 300 Blackout in Afghanistan. Weighing it at just 7 pounds with only 0.7 pounds heavier than the MP5, while having more than twice the effective range, similar recoil, and the ability to defeat soft body armor. The thing is, the MCX 300 Blackout is better than the pistol caliber submachine guns because of its versatility, being able to load supersonic or subsonic ammo with greater penetrative power. So what is the magic? What's the secret sauce in the 300 Blackout? So rifle gunpowder cartridges fired out of a short 9-inch barrel typically have a hard time achieving velocities of 2,000 feet per second. But by using the very different behaving pistol powder, which are designed to burn faster, it's able to finish burning by the time the bullet leaves this short 5-inch barrel. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people out there who dislike the 300 Blackout caliber. They point to the high rate of bullet drop past 300 meters. Its velocity is about 1,000 feet per second slower than your traditional 5.56, which is going to affect the terminal ballistics, meaning the way the bullet behaves when it hits the target. So if you're one of those long-range snobs who can hit targets past 1,000 meters, then sure, this might not be the round for you, and I respect that. AAC officially estimated that your 300 Blackout with a 16-inch long barrel would have a max effective range of about 450 meters, which is pretty impressive. You know, it's given the 5.56 a run for its money. I can appreciate why they nicknamed the MCX the Black Mamba, after the deadly snake that is native to the sub-Saharan Africa. Just like the 300 Blackout caliber, This Black Mamba snake is capable of lethal striking at considerable range and delivers a series of shots in rapid succession. A lethal strike. The MCX might look like an M4, but it's very far from it. It's actually similar to the NGSW bid, just smaller. It uses a short stroke gas piston that helps reduce recoil compared to the long stroke used in AKs. It's incredibly compact at just 26 inches in overall length. It has a dual recoil spring that runs nearly the length of the upper receiver, which increases reliability and gets rid of the need for a buffer tube in the stock. One of the main reasons they chose this design was specifically so the MCX could run short 6 or 9 inch barrels that typically wouldn't work with your direct impingement M4. The gas adjustment valve on the MCX rifle allows the operator to switch between settings so they can reliably cycle the 300 Blackout ammo, which cycles differently than your regular ammo, different pressures. The weapon can easily swap out barrels in a matter of seconds to fire different calibers, which solves a huge problem that some operators were having where they had to switch between an AK and an M4 platform, sometimes multiple times in one day. Unusual, sure, but these are unusual soldiers that we're talking about. So what are your thoughts on the MCX and the 300 Blackout round? I'm curious to know what you guys think. Did I miss something? Did I get anything wrong? Let me know in the comments section. I'm your average infantryman, Chris Cappy. You're watching Task and Purpose. Check out one of these videos while you're here.